Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm bringing in another replay, but I gotta say, I never thought I'd see myself casting a game between my favorite Zerg of all time, EGIdrA. Actually, you know what? I have to retract that statement. My favorite Zerg of all time is actually Gamania Sen. But back before I knew about Sen, I would have to say, you know, EGIdrA was hands down my favorite Zerg of all time, and I will explain that. I will iterate on that further in a few minutes. And his opponent in the lower right-hand corner, sorry, let me put the music back on, is RootMinigun. He says you should try winning a single game offline before talking shit. Just like really, just one of them. And it looks like this is game number 2 between both of them that I'm casting. One probably stream sniped the other. And RootMinigun's just like QQ face basically. I'm not sure if this is to taunt Idra or just to kind of legitimately say, oh well, I'm sad. He says, you good player. Example, last game. I'm not sure if this is legit or not, but I think, well, this could be foreshadowing to what's going on in this game. Idra is certainly the more egotistical player. I won and then threw units at you waiting for you to leave because it's a ladder game. Oh, okay. AKA worthless. Then MLG qualifier. Yeah, I lost. Okay. How many matches have you lost? Alright, now, of course, this is enough of the ego bashing. I just wish there was a way I could stop both players from talking right now. I just don't know how. How many matches have you lost? Quite a few, no? Can't count that high. How many things that matter have you won? Pretty sure that count as one. Okay, okay. The hearts of millions. Lol. Good answer. Okay, well, Idra's basically like, you're not getting anywhere by playing the nice guy, but there we go. The probe coming in, trying to get that harass in. Just blocking. But something I want to kind of iterate further on is I have never once casted Idra at an online tournament. Why is that? I think it's because he has a reputation to keep up, of course. You know, he is... I don't want to say the world's best player, but of course, I will say he's actually pretty good. He set the bar back in the Brood War days. He was the first one to go to Korea to compete. Back then he played Terran, of course, and the Overlord's going to come in here and see that there's a gateway and a forge and a new pylon skin down here. Yeah. And the Nexus, finally. He knows there's nothing silly going on here. There's nothing too shenaniganry or anything of that nature. And now we see Idra going... Oh, no, I thought he was going to throw down his third here on the minimap, of course, but we do have the Lings moving out, and I think of quite orderly fashion. I'm not sure... You know... here's the third. I'm sorry. Looks like I called that out wrong, and it went down about 20 seconds ago. Still very timely, 4 minutes and 5 seconds, rather standard. I see a lot of Taiwanese pros, as well as Chinese pros doing this. But I want to say that this is actually the first replay I have ever casted of Idra in my life. Because I never proactively went looking for any of his replays. But I do want to say that I've never actually casted him at an online tournament before. I want to say that the only online tournaments he does would have to be something like an online qualifier for a much bigger tournament, because of course he did make it to the Battle.net World Championships. I'm not sure what placement he made in the WCS North America regionals to actually get there, but you know, I mean, anyone who can actually make it to the Battle.net World Championships in Shanghai with a $250,000 prize pool is worthy of praise. That is results. But the last tournament I remember hearing about Idra actually winning first prize in would have to be just about a little over a year ago. That was the IEM Guangzhou. This year it took place in Singapore because of basically a bunch of political stuff that went down in China, and it basically resulted in a lot of riots and a bunch of, I don't want to get into it, but it just wasn't pretty. So here we go, Idra trying to chase down that probe. I'm getting more hiccups from my SE2 client. Sentry in a forward position. Where is the tech up we've been looking for? Here it is, the Stargate. And this is absolutely, I think, just a teeny bit pitiful. EGIdrA can put some eyes on this. He's moving his Overlord back in place. He did just click on it, and then he moved out. He's like, okay, Stargate. Right into that. Easy. And we're going to see just how this game works out now. I mean, like, if we just check this out, I think, you know, EGIdrA, he knows what his opponent's doing. But as long as we see both players continuing to sort of macro just a little bit and then tech up, I just want to bring up one last little thing that I thought was funny as hell. RootMinigun was playing against RootMinigun on the ladder one day, and then I remember watching RootMinigun call Destiny over Skype. I will admit this was actually in a YouTube video. I didn't actually see it happening live. And he says, "Hey Destiny, can you help me? Can you help me out here? RootMinigun is stream cheating." And he's like, "Sure. Let me get my fan base to start. Let me get my fan base to start spamming him with SC2 client messages." And then they did it, and RootMinigun ended up lagging out. Yeah, back in the day when Destiny was on Root. I loved it. Alright. So here we are. Zealots moving out. And we just have a bunch of Phoenixes coming out right now. It doesn't look like we're going to see any Void Rays. This is just, I want to say, a reiteration of a classical Wings of Liberty opening. 4 gateways altogether right now, and a Robo Bay. So it looks like, I don't know, maybe, just maybe these Phoenixes are going to be used for map control. And then, I just don't know what to make of it after that. We're at a 9-minute timing, or 9 minutes in time right now. So if we don't see Protoss take a third ASAP, we're going to see Zerg get significantly far ahead in terms of macro. We can already see the huge, not huge difference, but a significant difference. And if we check the probe count right now, it's actually like the natural is oversaturated, which means this basically indicates that we're going to see Protoss take a third. Zerg just making one mistake, and that Zerg being EGIdrA. He actually did not put the Overlord by any kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Anti-air, no queens, no spore crawlers, and these 4 overlords are actually right next to one spore crawler, not a second one. Queens kind of just shooting back at him like, yeah, those are my guys, don't shoot at them, please, thank you. And here we go, the Lings are trying to return pressure. I'm not entirely sure just what EGIdrA was thinking was going to happen there. Maybe he was expecting Oracle harassment to come by. It doesn't matter. At this point, we have EGIdrA also oversaturated on, looks like, yep, all 3 mineral patches. I think he was banking on some of those Phoenixes, Graviton beaming, Graviton cannoning, whatever have you. Everything that was on the ground, like mostly workers, and then picking them up and putting them down somewhere. And, you know, we just see Minigun doing as much damage as he can. I just think this is a little silly how we see EGIdrA. He did catch on to the Stargate. He's just not putting all of his overlords right next to spore crawlers. It's going to result in him having to waste time and minerals on more overlords. But we do see him electing to take a 4th base behind this. So he's, I want to say, significantly far ahead of his Protoss opponent. We just have to see him pull enough drones to put them on the 4th in a rather timely manner. Twilight Council going down now for RootMinigun, but the supply discrepancy right now is actually rather narrow. And what we see from Protoss right now counters what our Zerg player has immensely. One thing I do want to point out is that, like, of all the replays that I've casted so far, very few, if any, players, I don't think I've seen any of these players using swarm hosts. But if I may for just a moment, I mean, Sen was using them a lot avidly during the Beta Cup. But, you know, I mean, both of the games that he played against Max said he ended up losing very quickly because, and here's a Mothership card, this is a little late. Wujian Hesi. Okay, here we go. Now I know how to say that in Chinese. Alright. Ling chasing down the probe, trying to prevent the 4th base, and oh, how pitiful. The Phoenixes come in, intercept that Zergling, and it looks like, what is this? Okay, just making sure there's no hidden bases going down on his side of the map, I guess. RootMinigun now researching Blink, Spire on the way, and 6 swarm hosts also on the way. as well as Enduring Locust. So it looks like we're going to have EGIdrA going for the Swarm Host route. But I want to say that these 3 Colossi would be more than enough to clear those away. And of course, we also have Void Rays coming into the mix as well, so we need to see something that can take those down relatively quickly. At this stage, there's not a lot else to say. Pylon over here. So EGIdrA trying to take it a little more defensively with his approach towards this game. I wouldn't say defensively, but he's definitely stalling for time, stalling for higher tech, maybe stalling for an excellent counterattack. I think a Nidus Worm right here, or maybe a 2 or 3 Overlord. What's the word I'm looking for? Drop play would actually pan out. Speaking of drop play, we actually have a Warp Prism right here. I didn't see it come out. All I saw was it moving down here towards this corner of the map. And the Phoenixes just clearing away more of the map, maintaining their control of it. And hello. What is this, EGIdrA? What are you doing? Swarm Hosts, they could be good for one-time attacks, popping in, then popping out. I always like that idea with them, but yeah. Fun fact of the day, if you rally any units except Locusts towards a target, they will not attack them. But hang on, here we go, there's that Warp Prism play. We really need to see EGIdrA pick up these Swarm Hosts and get the hell out of there ASAP. Alright, he did do a little damage just to 1 Stalker with those, but I mean, damage is damage and you can't really complain at this point. Alright, so 4 base Protoss versus 5 base Zerg. Let's see who wins this. Handful of Zealots getting thrown away up here, but I want to say that maybe, just maybe, this is not the ideal unit composition for EGIdrA. If there was any time to attack, I think it would be ASAP, because This Protoss bully is actually starting to get a death ball together. That's a lot of Colossi, and here we go. Is this going to be the engage? No! EGIdrA is actually making a small mistake, I think, here. He was actually pulling his opponent's units to make him think that he was going into the 4th, and he's still doing that. Colossi over here. Here we go! Mothership Core gets shot down almost immediately. We have to wait and see just where this goes. Void Rays, oh my god, the Hydras, everything, you know, he's supply blocked, and now it just seems like we got RootMinigun kind of backing off for the time being. Those, really, those Locusts coming into play are actually doing a lot of damage. They're taking down the Colossi just a bit, but right now EGIdrA is, of course, supply blocked. He needs to get out a couple more Overlords. He finally does. The question is just what are we going to see here now? Ideal composition almost achieved. We really need to see Broodlords thrown into the mix. We have an Ultralisk Cavern on the way, interestingly enough. +3/+3 on the way for ranged attackers. That would be Hydras and Locusts. But I think what we see here from our Protoss, it can easily Raffle Stomp what EGIdrA has presently. He just needs to be much more careful with the positioning of his units. This is not ideal, and it looks like EGIdrA could be getting a losing engagement here. And it looks like EGIdrA is being forced into engaging in a position that he doesn't want to, but the Locusts are respawning, and it looks like they're doing some damage, just a little damage, but every little bit of it counts. We have EGIdrA at 178, 175 supply. And 4 Ultralisks are on the way, but we don't have... Oh, we have an Observer here, but I don't know, just... how much longer can he hold off here? He finally lifts up the Swarm Host and he pulls them back. Aggressive blink forward by the Stalkers. Only 1 Swarm Host ready to go with attacks, but 3 still alive. And the worst part about this is the units that EGIdrA is forced to remax with just don't have enough offensive upgrades. They don't have the +1 melee attacks. And here we go. It looks like the 4th base of EGIdrA might just fall. It does. Here we go. Now for the time being, since that north expansion is only harvesting minerals, we can see EGIdrA put all of his drones up there on the mineral line. He does put 5 of them there from his main. And it looks like EGIdrA is ready to move forward yet again. But I don't know. Let's just see what he's going to do first. If he can take down this 5th base, that would be big. That would be rather substantial to his Protoss opponent. Here we go. By the way, if you guys like what you see here, just add me as a friend on Facebook. That would be facebook.com/BreakerSC2. And here we go. The Ultralists are just tearing this Expo apart. Looks like he's tearing the, the Protoss army. He's tearing the Protoss army thin. There's a lot more Stalkers stopped here to take down these Locusts than what there actually needs to be. But the Nexus does fall. That's really going to take down our Protoss' income. And he's adding on more Stargates, trying to get up to that late game Skytoss army. But is it going to pan out? We're going to have to wait and find out. It looks like... Oh... EGIdrA has left the game. EGIdrA has been defeated. What happened here? Hold on just a second. Am I reading this right? Hold on. See, this is the thing, guys. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I don't quite see why he left the game. He has 4 more Ultralists on the way. Hold up. Income. EGIdRA's income presently is just a little, you know, hold up. If I may for just a moment, at this stage his income was higher. If he had just moved these drones from this expo up to this expo, he would have been good, and maybe retake this expo at the same time. He might have been in okay position. Understanding that this one is about Mine Tribe, but oh my god, EGIdRA, why you? Oh well. Don't worry about it, guys. Just if you guys like what you saw, go ahead and click on the subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Looks like RootMinigun won this game. All right, so yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Good game.